Does this idea of another documentary excite you?
It's definitely a different spin on documentaries that have been released about him in the past. I'm certainly wary of the way it's come about and perhaps the motives behind it as well. But I think beyond just a fanship, I think just the general public have a huge fascination with Michael Jackson, and for a chance to see what his children have to say about it is certainly interesting.
Simon, what do you think?
I mean, I'm torn. I'm quite interested to hear more about Michael Jackson. I find the whole thing quite distasteful, though, if I'm really honest with you. I mean, this is coming from the Jackson family, who have always asked for the privacy that Michael has always had through his life, and especially for their children. And now they're actually putting them centre stage and asking for money from the fans to make it. As you say, they're asking for $3 million. They've made about 2,000 so far, which clearly there isn't the demand even from the hardcore fans.
Are you surprised by that? I mean, would you donate? Because there are many people who just adore Michael Jackson, who you would assume would readily give their money over.
Yeah, no, I certainly wouldn't. And I think I have strong sort of a standing that, you know, Michael certainly did want to keep the privacy of his children, you know, at arm's reach. He didn't want the public, you know, looking at him at his children. The moment he passed away, that was it. His children were in the spotlight. The Jackson family have continued to do that, and this is just one of those times. Lots
and lots of tweets and Facebook messages. Christine Robinson says, I won't pay to watch it. Michael Jackson is a legend, but his mother's just greedy. Willie Gunn says, they have a cheek asking fans to contribute. Didn't he and they go through enough money? Speechless at the greed involved. I mean, they're not a poor family, are they, Simon? Why are they asking the public to fund this?
It's a very popular way to get projects made these days, and usually if they're projects that...
the Jackson family?
Well, if everybody else is doing it, why shouldn't the Jacksons do it? And we all know that money is a big factor always for the Michael Jackson family in the estate, because it's an important and powerful brand, Michael Jackson. It's something that does go to show, though, that this kind of projects, if you put it out to the people, like the vote, effectively, do you want this made? And people don't vote by putting their money down. You do have to ask if it is actually worth their time.
Matt, what would you want to see in it in order for you to...
Well, I think one of the interesting things it's lacking is actually footage of Michael Jackson. What we've
not seen before,
what we've seen on the trailer shows era from the sort of the Thriller era and childhood. So that's obviously showing that that's all the family have. It's when the Jacksons were involved. Nothing later, and that's because the estate aren't, you know, allowing this to take place. They're not happy about it. They're not going to give their permission, nor is Sony Music by the looks of things. So I think that, you know, it speaks volumes.
Okay, let's have a look at another clip. This is, we're hearing about Michael's legacy and the future for Paris and Blanket in this film.
I really hope that his legacy lives on forever, and I know it will.
Paris wants to be an actress, but I wouldn't let him go into being an actress. She'd think it's good, but it's a lot more work than she'd think it is.
He also said there will never be another Michael Jackson. And I say we already have one, but he just has to be trained. That kid was the spitting image of Michael when Michael was smaller.
Star in the making or not, Simon? What do you think?
I'm not so sure. I mean, we haven't seen any real discernible talent from any of the children, and it just smacks to me a little bit like they're building the children up to be. You can't say with one hand don't want the daughter to be an actress, but we do want to be in some way for them to be in show business. You can't literally have your cake and eat it with this.
What do you think, Matt? I mean, his grandfather says he's the next Michael Jackson. What do you think?
Well, I think...
You're laughing, so
well, he struck gold with his son Michael and indeed the family, but since then Joe Jackson hasn't got the best reputation of producing good artists, and I think that he's clutching at straws slightly, but also, once again, Joe Jackson
How do you feel about that?
Well, he's pushing the family, isn't he? You know, he pushed Michael.
Does it make you uncomfortable?
It certainly makes me uncomfortable. I think, you know, Michael did not want to push them into the spotlight. He didn't even, you know, really show them who he was. And, you know, he wanted them to evolve and make their own choices. Joe Jackson is certainly someone who wants to push people so that he benefits.
Okay, and we've got some pictures actually of the This Is It DVD, which is Michael rehearsing for that ill-fated tour. Of course, he passed away during those rehearsals, and that has been amazingly popular as a DVD, Simon, hasn't it?
And it's one of the most popular movies and most successful movies in Sony as the studio's history. People still like to remember Michael Jackson as he was at his peak, and that's a really good point to have left the story. I just don't know if we need to keep retreading. And we're not going to learn anything new. This is not going to be a very subjective documentary. It's going to be the Jackson family portrayal of what they want Michael Jackson to be. You know, they're not pulling back the curtain and showing us the Wizard of Oz here.
But will fans ever leave him alone? I mean, will they? What do you think, Matt? As a super fan yourself, you want to see more, don't you?
We do want to see more, and the estate is doing a very good job in doing that. There will be future releases from Sony Music, unheard music. There are leaks happening all the time on the internet, and there's going to be more DVDs, tours, and so on and so
So
forth.
very briefly, it looks like this isn't going to happen, according to you two.
It's unlikely.
It's going to sink.